Following Paul Sellers' method, I'm laying out all the boards in the proper orientation for gluing. And I'm marking the tops with a T. That way I don't get confused. Easy to do when you're in the middle of a project. Now, I'm just going to set these up and get ready to glue. After I eat supper, I'll come out, put the glue on them, slip them together, clamp them up. I don't want to get rushed for time and end up making a mistake. I know I'm going to trim the boards for length because I want to make the bench 6 feet long. So I'm trying to make sure I have the largest concentration of knots on this end because I intend to cut the most off of this end. I'll just do a square up cut on that end if I can, if everything works out the way I planned it. And these boards haven't changed a whole lot since I picked them up at Menards. I hope they haven't. Oh, this one's got a pretty good workbench. I have 2 extras that I'm going to use to cut up and make cross braces and things. So I may just substitute a couple of extras. Man, that one's better off than the first one. A little twist to it though. Not good. 2 down. Now I've laid out all the 2x4s, marked the side that's going to be on top. Now I'm going to put them together in this clamp rack and glue them. Not too fussy about whether it's a thick layer or a thin layer. I'm more interested in making sure that I got everything glued. And then I've got the glue spread around good. This stuff sets up fairly quick. It's Tight Bond 3. I don't want to spend too much time digging around with this. Paul made his bench. He was more focused on using hand tools. I like hand tools. I'm not going to make that the only defining purpose in my life, is to use hand tools, but I certainly do like using them. In this case, because I have a very large object to plane down, I'm going to take advantage of all the equipment that I have and use the jet planer. And the other glue up ended up with a little cupping on the end. Actually, I guess you'd call it warp. So I'm going to put some cauls on this one and a couple of clamps to help hold the end here in alignment. I'm working with long enough pieces that I can actually twist them a little. And when I glue it, well, when the glue sets up, all these pieces working together should come out straight. And if they don't, I'm going to have to do a little hand planing to get them square enough to go through. The other one I'm going to have to do that with too. Really straight. When you go to the big box store, you don't always know exactly what you're going to get. When I went to pick up the other 9 2x4s that I needed to make up the top, I got Douglas fir. That's actually nicer. Much more solid and got a closer grain structure. A lot stronger board. And if I were a wishing man, I'd have wished for finding Douglas fir the first time. Needs must. I think we're going to be okay with what we got. Do the same thing on this end. you might notice that I clamp the caul tight, clamp that, loosen the cauls, clamp that a little more, and then tighten the cauls down again. If I pull one clamp tight and then try and pull the other clamp tight, what I'm doing is fighting against the clamp, because it's got the 2x4s held together and they don't want to move. So if I bring them together, then tighten down the cauls so that it will hold it in that position, then loosen this clamp, that lets the 2x4 slip back into alignment. Then tighten the cauls back up, and then tighten the pipe clamp back up. That lets everything slip into alignment and then come together. One last check to make sure that they're tight. Not so tight that I squeeze all the glue out of the joint, but it only takes a thin film of glue to do the holding. You really want to have the fibers themselves come in contact so that the glue is holding the fibers, not holding against itself. Glue is very strong, but the idea is to have the wood in contact. Top and bottom all the way across. Joints look nice and tight. Everything's pulled together square. Now that after this is all set up, I have one standing over there in the corner, then this one, and I'll run those through the planer tomorrow after I dig a lot of this stuff out of the garage. Because the planer takes as much room going into it as it does coming out of it. That means it has to sit in the center of the room, about here. And these big chunks of wood going through the planer are going to be hefty. "13" planer, 12" wide glued up laminated plank. It's going to be a long, slow process, but it does work. I've done it before. Cool, all glued up, ready to go. I'm going to wait and glue this leg up in the morning. It's getting late.
Old Sneelock here again. Thanks for watching. Have you subscribed yet? If you enjoyed the video, please take a moment and click the thumbs up.